On today's episode of the Hamster Running podcast, I'm excited to introduce you to someone with an incredible story and an even bigger personality. My guest is Carlos, a larger-than-life character from the Valencia region of Spain, where he's also well known locally for his role in the Moors and Christians fiestas. Now, Carlos came to running a little later in life, but once he caught the bug, there was no stopping him. He's taken part in countless events across Spain and internationally, proving that it's never too late to discover the joy of running. And like many of us, he started out thinking running just wasn't for him, something I'm sure a lot of listeners can relate to. But with encouragement and persistence, he's truly become a dedicated runner. I can't wait for you to hear his journey, the races, the challenges, and the spirit that he brings to everything he does. So let's dive in with Carlos and hear how running has shaped his life. Welcome, Carlos. Can you tell me a little about yourself, please, Carlos?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, my name is Carlos Tortosa. Okay, I live in Ontinyent. I am a commercial professional. I have I think that I have a interesting job because I work around the cybersecurity, and around that, I could run in a lot of different places because I travel a lot around Spain, first of all, and sometimes around Europe. And this year, I was running in Las Vegas. But first of all, I have 57 years old, and I ran from exactly 10 years ago. For me, it's really a short time to run. But I every time have played different sports. I just started playing basket, of course, because I have really tall. I practice basketball in my country until more or less 20 years. Later, I tried to play mountain bike. I was running mountain bike 25 years, 50 years probably. And later I played paddle. Paddle is it's like a tennis, but more locally in Spain, Argentina. And now I know that it's developing in USA and Slovakia. I think it's a country that I know that is playing paddle in Europe.
Well, I have a student who lives in Dubai, and
in Dubai,
and there is a paddle club. There is a paddle club there as well.
Really? Yes. Well, I started 10 years ago to run because in that moment I stopped to do any sport. I was just at that moment I didn't practice any sport. And my wife, she was really a good runner, just locally until distances around 10, 12 kilometers. And she was every time saying me, why did you not run? Never. I every time said, no, that is not for me. No, forget it. Yeah, I am really a big man. I have a lot of kilograms in my body, and that is not for me. But just 10 years old, I was probably May and June in 2015. One day walking around the mountain, I said, okay, we can try to run until home. It's just 1 kilometer. And my wife just said, "Oh, yes, of course, let's go, come on." And we arrived at home. I was really destroyed. 1 kilometer, yes, And the second day, I said to my wife, "Why we're going not to run today?" And my wife said, "No, this is impossible. Would you like run today? Because yesterday you was yesterday really destroyed. I like to try it." And just 10 years ago about that, I started in that moment. And I think that it was really a drag, I tried to run and endorphin and a different inside my body. Something changed it, and I started to run.
So if you don't mind me asking, that's obviously the moment that you started to get running, but that was 10 years ago. What was it that kept you running? Why
Yeah,
did you keep running?
because I thought that it's not the running is not for me because I did another sports, but you play paddle, it's not necessary to run a lot. And to run, just to run because you like to run, for me, it was not attractive. Why? Why I have to run? I have to walk, I have to play. Mountain bike for me, it's fantastic. I have to do again in the next month. But for me, run it's not necessary. But in our country, in our city, you have to run in the mountain or in several places without any car, any traffic, and you have to really to enjoy to run. And that is what really fantastic for me because I live in the country more or less. I have the city really close to my home, but I live in the country, and in 1 kilometer I am in the mountains.
Of course.
A place that the name is San Esteve. This is a really short but complicated go up climb that I can run there.
I get to Sant Esteve, but from the other direction.
Moisen. I know where is the place.
I go up the Sierra Clariana and then onto the Moixent road and then back up to.
I didn't try never that route, and I like to do it because every time I go from here, but never I started from La Clariana. It's a route that I need to probably. And in someday I will to try it. Yeah. Well, I was telling you that we can run in a good place, and this was really fantastic for me to be in the nature, and I was to increasing the distances. I think in the text that you sent me, you have a question about which was my first career, or yeah.
Well, you've told me about your first run where you and your wife ran your kilometer and then you repeated the process. Did you ever do you remember the first time you participated in a race?
Well, I did
an event.
Some races in the city, but they was really small with a small quantity of public. The first one. It was 8 kilometers in around the city. That's 10 years ago, probably 8 years ago. But it's not attractive. It's a local. There is not enough people. But I decided to increase my distance running, and when I arrived until 18 or 16 kilometers in Ontinyent with mountains, I thought, why not? I have marathon. Because between 16 until 21, there is not a big reference. And the big marathon in our country, I think it's Valencia. And we have really close. And finally, I decided to run the half marathon in Valencia. I think the first one it was in 2017. That is the first race for me, because that is really fantastic. It's incredible. What the people is in the street really supporting to everybody running. In that moment, we was 7,000. Now it's now it's 35,000 people running. That was for me the first race, really race. And last year, for example, that I ran, I ran it with my niece, and it was really fantastic to run together. Waiting, 1 year I am waiting her, and the second year she's waiting me. And for me, it's really a pleasure to run together.
Have there been moments when you thought, actually, I don't know I can do this. I'm thinking seriously about stopping.
Well, really. I have to say that no, never I arrived to that time. 1 year ago, I have a problem with my column. I have I don't know in English. I have 3 hernias in the column.
Okay.
Now at this moment I have that problem. I'm really several. But 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, I had that problem. I said, "Whoa, I have to stop." But I don't like stop. But I have to stop because my body said stop. Enough.
You're a runner, and you don't want to stop.
Yeah, yeah. But when disappeared the dolor, the heel, I said, no, why not? I have to start again, and I recovered my rhythm, and I was running last year the half marathon. But at this moment, I have a big problem with that. Just I was speaking with you a few weeks ago, and just yesterday I sold my ticket to half marathon in Valencia the next month because probably I have to stop to run long distances. Okay, at this moment I 2 months without any run. I am just walking by the moment. Probably I have to stop, but I have with a doctor 2 days ago, and he said me, "Why no? You have run, but you can run 21 kilometers. Probably you have to recover some distance that your body will be really comfortable. 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers, but probably it's a good idea. Don't run anytime 21 kilometers. For me, it's enough. Okay." I can run that distance for me, not a problem. I am not a competitive person because I enjoy to running. But if the next month, yes, perhaps I have to run small distances, for me, it was a problem. But never I find a time that they said, no, well, every year there is season that is, in the end, 40 degrees in summer, in August, you have to stop because it's really impossible to run in the night or really early in the morning because it's really hot difficult every day. Okay, you stop 2 weeks, and when you can to recover again, 2 weeks later you have to try to run. But my head never said stop.
What is the best thing that you've
my
achieved?
Best days I have in my mind, because 2 years ago it was really hard. Yeah, I was really I lost 7 kilograms. I was really fine, and my score it was to run below 2 hours the kilometer. 2 hours the 21 kilometers. It's a really it's not a high speed, but for my body it was enough, and my objective was that. Okay. Regarding that, I have a tattoo in my leg. That it's a man running. First of all, it's a head. I don't remember. There's a head grammar. Would you have It's a man running, and later I put 21.79. That is the distance of a kilometer, and that is in one leg. And I promised me that if I run the half marathon below 2 hours, I will run the second leg with that number.
Okay.
Well, I arrived to the end of the half marathon in 2 hours, 26 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's still quicker than me. My fastest is 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah. In my watch, it was below 2 hours. I said yes, but the official statement it was 2 hours and 26 seconds. I said no, I can't believe it. I know that I was in a good moment to arrive below 2 hours, but it was impossible. That was really my best race last year. Perhaps it was really raining all the race, and it was I enjoy it, but it's not a good race.
How do you fit running into your daily life?
Okay, when I was really fine and I was really in good condition, I was running 2 days a week. But every time I am traveling by work, by my job, I put in the suitcase my sporties, my dress, and I by that reason I routed at a lot of different places. I run in Spain, I think around 12, 15 cities, Valencia, of course, Barcelona, Madrid, Coruña, Santiago de Compostela, León, a lot of different places. But when I travel out of Spain, I take with me, of course, the sportive dresses. And I ran, last time that I was running outside, it was in Las Vegas, because I was in a meeting in Las Vegas in March. And we did, I run every day, three times, 4 times. I was really fantastic to know the cities. That it's a good place to run. It's the La Ría de Bilbao. It's a place really, really plain, close to the river. It's really beautiful. Or Sevilla, really close to the river. And in other cities that I was running, it was, of course, Bratislava. That I sell a product which is Slovakia, and that is fantastic. Bratislava is really beautiful because they have the Danube, the river, and you have to run in some distance without finish until Slovakia, until Hungary, or until Austria, and you have to do some distances without the stop. It's really fantastic to know the cities running by the evening or by the morning. For me, it's a good idea to do sport.
Yes. So obviously running is part of your life now, and it's part of who you are. Is there any benefit to running that you think that you've got outside of health and fitness? Is there anything outside of that running has brought to your life?
Yeah, for me, the run is not just a physical situation, a physical. They have relations with the physical, también with the mind. Because when we have a hard day, I remember some days in a really hard with the job is not like you would like to do, or probably you have some complicated meetings. And in that days, every time I try to run, it's the same which weather is doing, it's the same which time is it, because I forget everything. I run with the headphones, listening music, regular jazz, no classical music, no, but jazz, music of films. For me, it's a method to forget everything and to think just in my legs, and the time, how speed are you doing? For me, it's good to escape it.
Do you think of yourself as being quite a competitive runner, or would you call yourself, as we would say in English, a fun runner?
Yeah, if I am competitive because I like to run below 2 hours, yeah, probably yes. But no, I just to enjoy it. It's when you're training to have that, to run that type of races. Of course, you are competing with your body, because yes, I have to do every kilometer below 6 minutes, because if I do 10 kilometers, it's just 1 hour, but I am trying to arrive to the half marathon with a good condition. But never, I was never competitive. I never tried to run to win anything, just to win my body, just to enjoy with my seat or anything.
What advice would you give your young self?
I started to have mountain bike. Probably that moment, and I started to run. Probably my body, it was really changed in that moment. I was 25 years old when I started to do mountain bike, and probably in that moment I changed and I decided to run it, not to. Or probably in that moment I didn't decide to maintain the sport. I tried to run one time. I said no, enough. But I think it's 10 years for me. It was enough to know the sport, and my decision at this moment, knowing that I probably will have problems running, it's non-stop. It's the same, 5 kilometers, 4 kilometers. I like to continue running because that is for me a good benefit.
Your favorite running shoes? What do you run with?
For me, it's really or for the feet, of course, is really a comfortable trademark.
What would you say is your favorite distance? What's your favorite distance? 10 kilometers?
Oh, yeah. I think it depends of how the fit I am or which is my condition. Yeah, but
yes.
Probably that distance is the distance that I run several times. You know that when I was practice to training to the half marathon, I started every time at 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers for me is a distance. It's a good distance. Probably 12. You can arrive at 12. But for me, less than 10 kilometers is just to start. But I have the distance with my home to Pozo Claro. You know, it's really close to with the river. It's more or less 8 kilometers and a half. But it's a good distance. Okay. It's not arrived than 10, but it's a beautiful close to the forest, really beautiful.
Sure.
But 10 kilometers from me is perfect.
Is there a race that you haven't done yet?
Yeah.
But you would absolutely love to do it in the future if it was possible.
Last 5-6 years, I ran 2 races at the year. And one of them is just to train in the second one, you know, that in Valencia, there is a really beautiful race that is 15 kilometers, but in the night. It's a Saturday night. You run the distance in the middle, in the city, in the center city, and it's a beautiful distance. But it's just 1 month before the half marathon. And for me, the half marathon is the race. It's the race in a big letters, you know. Last year, it was running with me in my seat, yes, of course. Yeah, and one colleague in the company that I am working from Slovakia, that she came here with her husband just to run the half marathon and to go back to Slovakia. It's a really, and I know there is a lot of people that prefer to run in Valencia, not in Madrid, not in Barcelona, because it's a beautiful race.
Yes. So your absolute dream race is the Valencia half marathon.
Yeah. Below 2 hours. Below 2 hours. I have a story for you around the run and run before in different cities. In 2020, in March, it was I think remember 6th of March. We went to Paris to run the half marathon of Paris. Received a message in the phone that the message said, by the pandemic situation, tomorrow the race is not going to do. And we was in Paris. And at the same time, 60,000 people watching a football match. But later, 10,000 people can run in a free time, no, it was impossible. It was closed. And we said, why? We can run tomorrow, but today there is a lot of people inside a stadium. What do we do? On Sunday, at the morning, 5:30, we was to the start line. We was more or less, I have not the exactly number, but we was probably 1,000 people running the half marathon without the streets open with the cars. But for me, it was fantastic. Raining, it was really beautiful. We ran that race with the T-shirt official. That it was why we can run if there is a lot of. It was no clothes, you know. 2 weeks later, in Spain, it was around the world. It was everything closed. But in that moment, just starting the pandemic, we don't understand it really.
There's a group of us who go to London on the morning of the official London Marathon. And we start running at the end. And And we
You do yeah.
we run to the beginning. I'm really looking forward to it next year. Carlos, look, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much for giving me your story and telling everybody about your history. It's an absolute delight, and I really do thank you for that. That's marvelous. A huge thank you to Carlos for joining me today and sharing his journey. From his discovering running and taking it to events across Spain and beyond, his energy and dedication to the sport really shine through. I'm sure you agree. I think a lot of us can really relate to his story, that feeling of wondering if running is really for us, then realising with a bit of encouragement that it has suddenly become a lifelong passion. Thanks so much for listening or watching the Hamster Running podcast. Remember, you can catch the full episodes on the YouTube Relatable Runners playlist and highlights on my regular running vlog. If you actually enjoyed today's conversation, please share it with a fellow runner and don't forget to follow the channel so you never miss another episode. Until next time, lace up and enjoy the ride.